3, 2, 1, we're going live. All right, welcome along. We are live on Facebook again. Welcome to Bish and the Beard. G'day, Shino. How are you?
G'day, mate. How are you?
Oh,
keeping well?
Fantastic, mate. Very good and very glad to be here. Yes, who'd have thought we'd get this far? They said you'd never make it. But
yes, well, they did indeed. Well, not too sure who they are. But
did they?
The echoes in our heads, perhaps. But another Tuesday rolls around nonetheless.
Here we are. Now, we usually start the show with a what you're drinking, and I'm really pleased to have some brews here from Terra Forma. Now, you did tell me just before we came on board which one we were going to have first, and it's this one, isn't it? The Swamp Town?
Yes, so we've got the Swamp Town, and look, those who may have seen, I popped around the Bish's the other day, and he was kind enough to give me some of his offcuts from his pallets, from his booming planter box business, and I found a couple of sneaky cans inside, which was a pleasant surprise. So, and these are the ones we are tasting this evening from the guys at Terra Forma.
Well,
so,
I must thank Matt Rigby for this, for dropping them off to me, and we're going to try them now. This is ominously dank and dirty, which sounds like a movie that you're probably not supposed to be watching, but I'm really looking forward to this. So, Shino, this is
Am I dank and you're dirty, or is it the other way around?
What does even dank mean?
Not sure.
No, I don't know.
The only dank I know, wasn't that Dank involved with the S&D?
Steve Dank, yes, well, he was.
Steve Dank. Yes, so it would have nothing to do with Steve Dank whatsoever.
No.
Actually, Steve Dank probably could have done with a few of these.
Exactly. Had he been on the cans and not on the injections, that might have been.
Absolutely.
So are we ready to go, mate? A little cheers. Oh, you put it into a glass, mate. How did you do that so quickly?
Well, I just did it here on the side here.
You have assistance, I'm sure of it.
No, across here.
I'm going straight from the can, so here we go.
Okay.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. Oh, that's lovely. Got a nice full flavour, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah. And
very citrusy.
It sits on the palate a little too. I really let me go again. Oh, I really like that.
No, I do too. It's a very, very pleasant flavour. We'll be back for those, no doubt.
Really like to try that straight off the tap. So
yeah.
I don't think that's an option at present, but I really would like to try that. So what we're going to do, we will sit on those as we go. I will probably drink mine way too fast, but that's okay. And then a little bit later, we're going to crack out the Halcyon Haze, and
yes,
I'm looking forward to that. So, so we'll get onto that. But that's a lovely beer. I have shared the link to Terra Forma's Facebook page, so if you could give that a like, and if you spot it down the bottle shop, post a picture of yourself having a can on our Facebook page. And always remember, we'd like to see a picture of you having a drink while you watch the show. So,
absolutely. And it mightn't be. It doesn't necessarily need to be an alcoholic drink. It can be whatever you choose to drink. Absolutely.
Easily a non-alcoholic drink like Heineken or no.
Yes.
A low alcoholic drink. No, okay. So we've covered that. Are we ready to bring our guests in?
Yes. Look, I suppose we'll introduce them.
Could you give us a bit of an introduction for the Kirkwoods?
Absolutely. So this week we have a wonderful couple from the Eastern Goldfields in the Kirkwoods, both Rebecca and Chris. So some marvellous community-minded people from up that way. Who I'd met a couple of years ago in my time up in Kalgoorlie. So have become very, very dear friends as well. But a couple of tremendous characters as well. Looking forward to getting them on the show and having a bit of a chat and firing some questions at them, Bish.
Yep, absolutely. Looking forward to it. I have not met the Kirkwoods, so and literally, aside from a little discussion on Messenger today, have never spoken to them. So to say we do things by the seat of our pants here is absolutely correct. So I'm going to bring them in. Here we go. There we are. This is always that nervous moment. Here we go. I see something happen.
Oh,
Hello.
I can see them.
Oh, here we go.
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Hello there.
Rebecca and Chris, how are we?
We have sound.
Every time this happens and it works, the most amazed people are Shino and myself. So
we can't believe it. It's simply incredible. Particularly after Jeff Hanson's thorough failure last weekend. he only come to find the mute button halfway through the show. I think it's great to have you guys here. So, how are you both?
Yeah, good. We're amazed that the cord reaches all the way to Kalgoorlie, so we can still hear you.
Yes. Do you think they'd feed it through the pipeline, perhaps?
Yeah, maybe.
Good, thanks. Yeah.
You could run along and check it, Shino, as you're going next time.
Yes.
Make sure there's no breaks in the cord.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. But first and foremost, what are you guys drinking?
Well, a mixer. Actually, Bundaberg Spice Rum and ginger beer.
Oh, dark and stormy.
Yeah. I would make it ourselves, but yeah.
Excellent. And what have you got? What have you got?
I've got exactly the same because Chris made it for me.
Right. Okay.
Because he's a lovely, caring husband.
Yes.
So I'm just having what he's having.
Yeah, fair enough. Absolutely. Well,
And,
cheers to you guys.
I'm assuming very standard pours. Cheers.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, well,
Excellent.
we'll roll into the questions. A man or a woman has got to have a hobby. What's yours?
Do you want to go first?
No, you can go first.
I'll go first. Okay. My hobby is probably running. Is that a hobby?
Yes. Sadly, for many of us.
Yes, and
so that's my hobby.
You ran a big event in your backyard.
Oh yeah, I did. I ran in my backyard. So I did 315 laps of a 134-metre course through through my backyard. I had to do an extra one. That should be 316 just to make sure I got the 42.
Does it sound any more ridiculous the more often you say that?
I think, I don't know. The math sounds right. Mentally, though, I'm not sure, but of these drinks, and Chris, I can assure you, made them all after. I wasn't getting up off that lounge chair.
No, fair enough too. Absolutely. And you know, we're all about practicing mindlessness on the show here as well. So obviously that's probably an ultimate act of mindlessness.
Well, I tried actually 38 laps, which was 5 kilometres. So I was trying to work that out, but as I got towards the end of the run, it became really hard to add 38 to the number. It was only 50 seconds a lap. So by the time I get to the beginning of the next lap, the number had changed. And I knew that I had to add 40 and take away 2, but the number was before.
Yes.
And by the 4th hour, I just had none.
Yes.
There was no chance of me getting lost. So, like it was a good act in that I didn't have to concentrate or think too hard, just sort of zone out, I guess, for the 4 3/4 hours that it took to run around and around the house.
Absolutely. Well, that's insane. We've got to commend you on your insanity. So well done indeed. Chris, you might want to go check the back door. Someone might be breaking.
I think that's
your
special.
No, that's
I don't know.
Someone might be breaking through the link.
The dog has heard something.
I'm getting.
That's it. It's me.
I'm getting change profile pictures.
Oop.
Okay.
The dogs.
Yes.
Well, he's been taken by the dogs. No, he's back. He's back.
Well,
I'm back.
let's continue on
that.
Bish finds his way anyway. So Chris, tell us about your
hobby. Well, I suppose my hobbies and mindlessness all revolve around similar sort of stuff. You know, I like running as well, but I haven't been doing as much of late. Just been trying to get rid of a couple of niggly injuries, but I've got for a few over the last couple of days. But really, I suppose a hobby. I like cooking meat with fire.
Yes.
I suppose.
Yes.
So really enjoy that.
I had a good idea when we were going to ask you that question that might come up.
I suppose I'm a simple fellow. Going back to my caveman roots, perhaps. I'm not sure. Cooking meat with fire.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Tremendous. Well done. And Clint, do we have you back, Bish?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm having a little trouble here with our interwebs and also a barking dog, because every time I reconnect, the computer decides to make a doorbell sound, which is just enough to get him to go nuts. So that's my little dog, Rusty. He's a little bit special. So, and he doesn't like missing out. So I'm all good. Shino, have you got the next question?
I have indeed. So I think the next one we had along there, well, we pretty much tied off through that anyway, was how do you practice mindlessness? So we've tied that in really with the hobbies. I think particularly when you are running, that is a surefire way to practice mindlessness. Is there any other things that you guys do to practice mindlessness?
Getting out in the bush, camping. That's kind of rolls into my cooking meat with fire, and running as well. Our camping and running often turn into runcations. Oftentimes, go somewhere for a holiday. Oh, look, here's a run, kids.
Yes. and the kids are still falling for it too.
Yeah. That often happens, doesn't it? Like, oh, look, there's a marathon in Australind. Maybe we could go on a holiday at Australind. The kids are unaware. We just turn up there. The beach is beautiful. Oh, look at that! There's an event on tomorrow. Just wait here, kids. I'll be back in 4 hours.
Yes, exactly right.
So I've
beautiful,
got the next
beautiful.
question. What is your favourite conspiracy theory?
I think mine has to go with a lovely lady named Carol. And did Carol Baskin kill her husband?
Oh, now Shino and I have been meaning to have a discussion about this, because I sent Shino off to watch Tiger King a couple of weeks ago, and I understand he's finished watching it. And she so killed him, didn't she?
I don't think it's a conspiracy. It's a certainty, isn't it?
No, that was some weird stuff going on there. But
very.
Didn't she have crazy eyes?
Oh,
yeah.
There were very few normal people in that show, full stop.
Definitely not.
Really?
I got to say, I was not sold on the show, and I reluctantly decided to put it on. We thought, look, we'll watch the first one. Even after the first one, I thought, oh, this is mildly entertaining. But I was told I've got to stick with it. But gee, didn't it fire up by about episode 3?
Yeah, it's nuts.
It was a bit of a train wreck. We've got to keep watching because we don't know what's going to happen.
And it just continues to get. You think, how can it get any more unusual and any? I don't even have the adjectives to describe it. But it just simply kept outdoing itself.
Have a look at what that Carol Baskin did, though. I mean,
yes. Do you reckon, and I'm just saying, and I'm not insinuating anything, but you think there's a link between Carol Baskin and Peter Evans?
Peter Evans?
Yeah.
Another conspiracy theorist of sorts.
In terms of his machine.
He's just
I don't know if he's ever cooked anyone's husbands or fed them to the tigers.
well, would that he's into paleo, isn't he? Is cannibalism paleo?
He's
That's
just
true.
got fined 15 grand today.
25 grand.
Yeah.
I think it's a couple of days ago.
Yeah. And yet he could have avoided that fine by coming on this show and explaining exactly how his machine worked. That would have just saved him 25 grand. But no.
Actually, Bish, this is each week we ask our guests what their favourite conspiracy theory is, but my challenge is I believe all conspiracy theories are intrinsically linked, potentially.
Oh.
No,
Is that your conspiracy theory, Pete?
That's my conspiracy theory.
it would appear that people
and I challenge everybody to prove otherwise.
Well, okay. Here's my point. I think if you're prone to going for one, as in you'll cop that one, right? You go, well, then I'll probably cop that one as well. You know, like if you're open, if you're woke, right, and you're not a sheep, right? You'll go, I'll cop this one, and then someone goes, hey, you sound like someone, and then you realise, like, for that one to be true, that one can't be, because they kind of, contradict each other. So I don't know. So are
you saying that the same type of people think that, landing on the moon is made up and JFK wasn't really killed, and all those sorts of people are the same people with the same mindset?
I'm not. Yes, I think you have to have probably a particular mindset to go, I'm going to be in that thing of believing it, and then not going, and then of course once people believe it, then although as Maddie Trent's just said, there's conspiracy theories are a conspiracy theory.
Correct, and that's exactly what I'm saying, Maddie. So Maddie's on my side.
No, Maddie's with you. Yeah.
I mean, the angle I'm coming from on that is, we're talking about, as an example, landing on the moon and someone who shot JFK. People need to explain to me, well, it could be. Neil Armstrong could have been on the grassy knoll. We don't know. We don't
conspiracy.
know.
Well, I must admit, I do love the JFK ones. I think they're pretty good. It was one of my favourite movies. The Oliver Stone movie JFK with Kevin Costner in it. I thought that was brilliant.
And what about, no one's brought up Harold Holt yet, the disappearance of Harold Holt.
True. Yes.
We know.
Wasn't it actually? No, there was a conspiracy theory.
Well, he apparently drowned. We do know that Pete Evans is an avid surfer. Who's to say Pete Evans wasn't down there at the same time as Harold Holt?
So he's really 85.
Perhaps, yeah.
There's a lot to talk through here. I think
I tell you,
we've opened up a whole can of worms.
I just want to give a quick shout out to our coach here, Shino. He says, and I reckon he might be in on this, because he says, Neil Armstrong shot JFK, you lot of nuts. So clearly Tony is part of the cover-up here. Tony's got some inside info.
We all know.
We've just gotten a little close to the truth.
Are people watching this?
Yeah, there are people watching. Yeah. Who knew? You can't account for taste. What do you reckon? Next question.
We're getting rather deep into this. We might not be able to dig ourselves out. So shall we move on?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Well, possibly the most topical question here, and it can be very divisive. We almost saw a marriage separation on the program last week. You guys like your ex?
Poached.
I don't mind actually, poached, fried, or scrambles. But if they're fried, they've got to be flipped over because I don't like the orange on top. I don't like to see the orange. I like them runny, but I don't like to see the orange on top.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so you like it runny on the inside, but it needs to be sealed.
Yeah. It doesn't need to look too much like an egg.
Have you tried eating it with your eyes closed? Does that make any difference?
I haven't. But I
I
might completely miss.
We're happy to have eggs. But why should they look like eggs? Oh, so,
yeah,
semi-soft yolks then, I'm guessing.
Oh, well, no, I don't mind them quite runny, but I just don't want to see the orangeness.
See the yolk. Righto. Okay.
It makes it hard to cook. Like you've got to flip them quickly and get them off the plate.
So Beck,
needless to say, I don't make him eggs very much.
I could sense some resentment there.
I have a wife who is an absolute gun at cooking eggs. Yes, and a daughter who is a gun at cooking eggs, so no need for me. So now that we've covered the really important stuff, tell us something about yourselves that only a few people know, if any.
We're losing.
Yes, the cord to Kalgoorlie.
When we got married,
19 years ago.
So
Yes.
that's something that I think should. But, so yeah.
Yes.
So you took my maiden name.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's in Australia. I'm not sure about other countries, but it's not something that's done too often, is it? But it's certainly a measure of the way things for the right reasons. So absolutely.
Some friends found it quite confronting at the time. And they were like,
19 years ago.
Particularly the conservatives amongst society find those things, and I don't understand why, they find them very difficult to get their heads around.
I think too, like 19 years ago, almost 20 years ago, it was a really new thing. I think nowadays it's quite quite acceptable for people to keep their own name or to have hyphened names or a combination or to make up a new name.
Yep.
But back 20 years ago, it was quite...
I went to a wedding just recently, and when I say just recently, when you were allowed to go to weddings, it seems like a long time.
Actually, when Bish says when we're allowed to go to weddings, that's only because he's not allowed to go to weddings.
No longer allowed to go
very often. Tracy doesn't allow him to go to weddings too often.
No, that's not true. I went to 2 this year, and then everything finished. No, but I did go to one a couple of years back, and he took her name. And I still remember and it was a surprise to everyone. Nobody knew it was happening. And there was quite a lot of shock even then, because it is still not happening all the time. I think it's cool. Yeah. I think it's...
Yeah, I think the main negativity that we faced was that, so your children are going to have Rebecca's surname. They're not going to carry your name. And that was all about the whole male thing and the legacy and and all that sort of blokey type stuff was what we sort of experienced. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in my mind, it just serves to make the family tree a little bit more interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and that's
no big deal.
A lot of assumptions as well about children anyway. Anyway.
And Beck has to answer the same question. So Beck, tell us something about yourself.
Not many people know about you.
Oh, we actually answered that together.
Oh,
so I guess I kept my maiden name. My maiden name and my married name is the same.
There you go.
Well,
same.
Very. Yeah. Actually, I've fired in an extra question here, Bish. I hope you don't mind. But how and where did you guys meet?
Oh,
You tell the story.
Okay, well, we both used to be.
Keep it clean.
I'm not sure what story you're thinking about. We both used to be Queensland police officers once upon a time, and we actually met at the police academy when we started on the same day in the Queensland Police Academy in Townsville.
In January 2000.
January 2000. Yeah.
Yeah. So as fresh-faced recruits, eager to save the world, with 38 other people. Yeah, we met. There were quite a few romances, as you may imagine, in that environment. But there's two married couples.
Two girls.
And another couple. That's it.
Wow.
Have stuck it out, so to speak.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Excellent. Oh.
Excellent.
Good. All right. Well, that's our line of questioning done. I believe.
That's mainly the question. Are you guys happy to stick around while Shino and I ask each other a few things and talk about a few other things, and we might even grab some answers from you?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Look, there is one more question I was dying to know after having spent some time in the goldfields is white socks. And how have you best found to remove the notorious red dirt from the goldfields from your white running socks? I had no joy whatsoever. I would throw out countless pairs of white socks. That became essentially pink socks. And wearing pink running socks around a man's town was suitably frowned upon. So I ended up having to wear black running socks. Which, essentially isn't a big problem, I suppose. But have you guys found a particular way? And if so, how? How do you remove the red dirt?
I don't own any white socks.
No, I only have one pair, and I only wear them if I'm running around town on formed paths, I suppose.
Right.
I've got white.
Avoid the red dirt, I think.
I've got white.
So avoidance. Avoidance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as you know, Pete, I'm not a real fan of hills, trails, anything like that. So it's quite easy for me to embrace the concrete in Kalgoorlie and run the bike paths. But I do have white calf sleeves, but I don't wear them a terrible amount of times.
Yeah. Okay.
The simple answer.
Well, I don't.
Wrong coloured
Yeah,
socks, mate.
Yeah, I'm not. I've got to say, I'm not satisfied with the answer. So we will delve deep into this in further episodes.
Throw them out.
Yes, okay.
So,
all right.
Mike, I've got a couple of questions for you here, mate, without notice. But are you ready to go on to the next beer?
Yes, I am. Hang on.
Okay. So the next one we've got here, the Halcyon Haze, East Coast IPA, an evocative reflection on a golden era where beer decided there were no longer limits on loads. I really need a new eye test, I think, when they let us out again.
Do you think we can speak to the guys at Terra Forma and ask them to make
the print for a whole bunch?
Get a beer or a
or a free magnifying glass with every six pack. Maddie, get onto it, mate. So, are we ready?
Yes, I'm just pouring it now because being a beer snob, Bish, I have a glass to pour
I
into.
usually would, but I just wanted to show off the lovely cans because I really like the look of the
Okay.
cans.
Well, cheers to you, Beck, Chris, and Bish.
Cheers indeed.
Again.
No, that's all right.
Very, very different to the Swamp Town.
Yeah,
But,
I like that.
It certainly sits at the front half of the mouth. It's not as rounded as the
Nice,
Swamp Town.
a sunny day beer, I think.
Absolutely, more of a session IPA.
Oh
I
yeah,
think.
well it's sixth session. Beautiful. All right.
Might be It might be a short session, but it'll be a session nonetheless.
No, we'll be fine.
6%.
Now, I've got to ask you, we spoke about the Tiger King, so we can tick that off the list. But you didn't actually, you didn't commit, you know, Carol Baskin, did she? Did she kill her?
Yes, she did. No doubt.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. So we are unanimous on that, aren't we?
Yeah, I think we've all agreed that it couldn't have been anybody else.
Yeah. That wedding photograph of the second husband was the clincher for me.
Oh yes, that was disturbing, wasn't it? That was possibly the most disturbing image. Was that the one of him dressed with a leash around his neck on his knees? Yes, that's a long-lasting image. That's very difficult to remove. I don't care how many 6% halcyon hazes you have. That image is going to remain.
Absolutely. Now, you know, Saturday week ago we watched Mick Thomas play live, and we on the interwebs.
Yeah,
and I remember thinking, A, it was pretty good, but B, it did remind me that it would have been nice to be watching at a pub and having a beer and shouting in each other's ears and so forth. Yeah. So it did strike me to ask the question, and please hop in here, everyone. What's the craziest sort of most different live gig you've seen?
Okay, that's a difficult question. That's almost like one of the questions I hate the most is when people ask you what's your favourite album.
No, this is not favourite, and we can, if you think of a better one next week, we can come back to it. So just roll one out that you go, this was pretty weird. I've got one, so if you want to
I've got one. I suppose that the one that comes to mind first is I saw the Waterboys play in Edinburgh in the early 90s.
Well, that's cool.
And they were amazing. Yeah, just through crowd participation, but also with the old castle in the background and things like that. It was just a beautiful spot to see them down in the grass market. But,
okay, so that's a good gig. All right. I think you might have missed my point here, so I'm going to tell you about mine, and then I'll ask Chris and Rebecca to tell us.
Okay.
I saw James Rain playing his acoustic guitar before a Perth Glory game sometime in the mid-90s, about 96.
Right.
He did not look like he wanted to be there, and I don't blame him because nobody else looked like they wanted him there. But he manfully strummed through about half a dozen songs and no doubt collected his check at the end of the day and thought, really, I used to be an Australian crawl. So that was what I was.
Right.
That was sort of the weird sort of thing.
I understand.
Yes.
I understand. Okay.
What about you, Chris and Rebecca? Have you ever seen anything as sad and as strange as that?
Oh, look, I'm not a big music fan, and I like music, but I'm not well travelled and I haven't seen many live performances, but I've seen Taylor Swift,
right.
and I think
that's sad in its own way.
Yeah. and if we're going to capitalise on that thought even further, it was pretty cool when we all got wristbands, and as Taylor Swift sung, all the little lights glowed at the same time. So that's where I am in terms of my level of.
I think that's some sort of controlling carry on from
that's a conspiracy maybe.
Sort of controlling thing from Tay.
We didn't get wristbands in glory from James Rain, I can tell you that.
That's all I got. What have you got? Something? Chris has seen bands.
Not a heap. But again, I suppose I lived in northwestern Queensland for most of my life. I didn't get a lot of opportunity to see fantastic bands and stuff. First concert I ever went to, that was In Excess, supported by Jenny Morris.
First concert, In Excess.
Yeah. That wasn't wild. I know.
But it's cool.
It's cool. Yeah. Well, I think probably the coolest. I just almost accidentally walked into a nightclub in Fortitude Valley in Brisbane once upon a time, would be mid-90s, and Paul Kelly just happened to be playing there. That was cool. And a small crowd. He was supported by one of the Vic or Linda, one of the Ball sisters. I don't know which one now. That was cool. And it's a small venue with a decent, really good thing.
What was the cover charge?
I was probably three
And
quarters.
do you still have the receipt?
I don't think there was a receipt.
Long before my time. Yeah.
Well, actually, I think I have something. I remember, I vaguely remember, this also would have been probably in the late 90s or maybe early 2000s. I remember seeing Daryl Braithwaite playing in a C-grade shopping centre in front of, I think it was Spendless Shoes.
Now that's what I'm talking about. This
It's bigger than that now.
That's what I'm talking about.
We've seen Daryl Braithwaite twice too, but
and he pumped out, is it the horses?
Oh,
that's the classic now.
His signature.
He pumped it out with so much gusto. It was you almost forgot you were standing in front of Spendless Shoes.
Yeah, he must tour a lot, that bloke. We've seen him a couple of times. We've seen him in Kalgoorlie and we've seen him charge hours.
Yeah.
He must do a lot of traipsing around.
He just shows up.
In random spots.
Here and there. No, that's
at the Kalgoorlie racecourse. Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, we might come back to that in future weeks, because I've got a couple more that are almost equally as cringeworthy as Daryl Braithwaite at Spendless.
Yeah. I'll have to, start triggering my memory. I'm sure.
Yeah. Now that you've mentioned that, I can think of a couple. Ian Moss at the Footy is another one, but I won't.
Yeah.
I'll keep my powder dry.
Hopefully none of us were at the grand final to witness Meatloaf live. That would have been horrendous.
No. Oh, actually, funny story. The one and only grand final I have ever been to. They have.
That's obviously the
2015. I went, right. So, the grand final edition basically. They have all the international acts. Fantastic. They've got. I forget who. Oh, it was what's his name? Summer of '69.
Brian Adams.
Brian Adams, that's it. So, and Chris, wicked game.
Isaac.
Yep.
Isaac.
Well, bloody rock quiz round here, isn't it? Fantastic. All right. Anyway, so they're on the big stage and that. And then just before the game, they get old Mike Brady out to do Up There Kazali. And he is standing on a box, no bigger than a milk crate, over on the edge of the thing, because they pack it up. The poor bugger, he comes every year, probably getting the same check he's getting every year. They spend all the big money on all the big acts, and he's there racking out Up There Kazali in the corner, and you can only stand on the edge of the ground because we need to get all this stuff organised. It was quite sad for him. So
that's tough.
He probably has to bring his own box.
Yes, it's probably his own.
Maybe that's it. Maybe years ago he invested in the box, and he stole it from the back of a milk bar, and he's been bringing it with him every single time. Yeah, get him to stand on the grass. He's like, no, bugger this. I need some height.
Need some elevation. Yeah.
Need some elevation. Exactly right. So. Now, Shino, have you got rid of that ironing board yet?
I did like that. Well, I was about to say I did like that inclusion because obviously the segment I included last week, Junk to Jules, we're going to have to put on the back burner purely because we had no interest in it. But we will revisit. But I must say I am a resilient individual, and that won't deter me from bringing it up again at some stage. So I've put the ironing board back into the cupboard for the time being, but it will become known again at a later date. Now, I think it's all about timing, really. People weren't ready.
When people need to go out.
people weren't ready for me to bring out an ironing board and sell it as a pop-up bar. They just couldn't. It's going to take them a little while to get their heads around the concept.
Yeah, you don't want to peak too early.
Yeah. No, look, I think there'll come a time when people need to iron clothes again. We're not there yet.
Yes, I think so. Potentially.
If linen comes back.
Yes.
Linen.
Yes.
Linen or linen?
Linen.
Linen.
Like the material.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Exactly that. Yes.
No, so I'm sure there'll be a time when the ironing board may come handy. We will wait and see. But look, I think, Shino, do you have anything else you need to ask of anyone?
No, I think that's marvellous. It's wonderful catching up with you guys up there. Hopefully you're keeping well and the family are well, and hopefully we catch up before too long once these regional restrictions get removed.
Yeah, we can't go anywhere. We've only got a small region, and they even cut off Esperance. They cut off the good bit.
Oh yeah.
So now,
that's right. It's like saying, well, what parts of your body are you going to remove? You remove a little finger. No, we're going to take both your legs off.
Yeah. Like, we understand we're stuck in the golf fields, but a good part of that's Esperance. It's gorgeous down there, and we don't want to go there.
We're stuck in the red dirt. Can't get to the white sand.
Okay. It'll be marvellous to catch up, but I'll hand over to Bish to sign off, and we'll catch up with you, lovely people, again soon.
Fantastic. Thank you, everyone,
Thank you, gentlemen,
for joining us. Thanks, Chris and Rebecca. It was wonderful to meet you. A big thank you, obviously, to the guys from Terra Forma. Really loved these. So thanks to everyone. If you give that page a like and look for those beers in your bottle shop, and if they haven't got them in your bottle shop, ask for them, because they can.
And you know the other thing you can do, if they don't have them in the bottle shop, go to another bottle shop that has them, buy some, take them to their bottle shop, actually put them on the shelf, and just show the guy how good they look on his shelf. Then take them off his shelf, take them up to the bar, and that'll ultimately confuse him to the point, because he'll actually go to scan both cans, and they won't register in the till. He won't know what's going on. But I suppose the point of my story here
is confusing the size of the bottle.
The point of my story here is that you've ultimately confused him to the point that he will remember the brand, and he will be sure to get it in next time.
Or just tell him the name. All right.
That's the other one.
I've just had a note. If you do want to find out where they are, Besk, BESK, and Main Liquor in Ascot, I guess it is, on Great Eastern Highway. Fantastic liquor store. They do stock it. So if you're, my side of the river at the very least, Main Liquors you go to get some cans into you. So fantastic. We're going to sign off now. Thanks all for joining us, and we will see you very soon. Thanks guys.
For having us.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Take care. See you soon.
Guys.
See ya.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Bye. Cheers to you.
See ya.
Right.